Some years ago, I did a video where I was asking Unitarians and Oneness people to all speak the same thing about the origin of the Trinity. And I was begging them to start teaching the revelation that I have given on YouTube to everyone, is that Philo of Alexandria was the one that gave us the Trinity doctrine. And I pleaded with Oneness, and I pleaded with United Pentecostal, I pleaded with Unitarians to please say the same thing, so that by all being connected in this one thing, we would have a stronger voice against the teaching of the false Trinity. Well, it's been several years, and I don't think that's really happened. I come across very few people that teach that Philo was the one that gave us the Trinity doctrine. There are some, and I'm grateful for them. But the majority of Unitarians and Oneness are still saying things that are way off. And it's embarrassing for them to try to defend the Trinity by saying, for example, that the Trinity came from Babylon. Even though historically that is true, the first Trinities were Babylon, and then it spread throughout the world. But you have to make a connection between Babylon and the Roman Catholic Church that gave us the modern Trinity of today. And it's very difficult to do that. So those of you who are teaching that, oh, the Trinity comes from Babylon, you're not making any sense. And then we have those Oneness and Unitarians who are saying, oh, the Trinity came from Plato, or Heraclitus, and then Plato, and this is how we got the Trinity, the Plato's Timaeus and so forth. And even though there's some truth to that, you cannot make a connection between Plato and the Roman Catholic Church either. It sounds ridiculous for someone to be pointing to this and then not being able to prove it. Today I'm going to give you this video because I want to prove to you that we all must say the same thing, that it was Philo of Alexandria who gave us the Trinity, the Roman Catholic Trinity and the Protestant Trinity of today. And I'm going to start by giving you what the Roman Catholic Church itself says about Philo. Let's look at this. Leaving aside the author of the Book of Wisdom, other Alexandrian Jews before Philo had speculated as to the Logos, but their works are known only through the rare fragments which Christian authors and Philo himself have preserved. Philo alone is fully known to us. His writings are as extensive as those of Plato or Cicero, and throw light on every aspect of his doctrine. From him, that is Philo, we can best learn the theory of the Logos as developed by Alexandrian Judaism. Now, why did the Catholic Church use Philo's Logos to come up with the second person of the Trinity? You see, Philo was never a Christian. He was a Platonic philosopher. Oh, he used Stoic philosophy. He used other philosophies. They called him the second Plato. He was never a Christian. So his Logos was a pagan Greek Logos that was supposed to be a separate entity from God, and this entity, or he called it the Son of God. He called it the second person, a second God. Philo called him all those names. He said that the Logos was the one that created all things and did all the things that God wanted him to do, because God was so great and wonderful, and he could not be touched by the earth, and he could not touch the earth. He was so great, so big, so wonderful. So he needed an intermediary, a middle person to do the work. So that's just, the Catholic Church is telling us that they use the Logos of Philo. So why are Unitarians and Oneness, UPC and others, why are they saying that the Catholic Church or the Trinity comes from Babylon or Plato or Heraclitus? Why are they saying that when the Catholic Church itself is admitting to using the logos of Philo. Someone here is not being smart. Someone here is not being intelligent. Someone here is not being wise. I plead with Unitarians again, and I plead with oneness believers that we all say the same thing, that it was Philo who gave us the Trinity doctrine. The Catholic Church admits on the logos of Philo that they used the logos of Philo, which was not the logos of the New Testament. The logos of the New Testament, it simply means word, utterance, speech, and nothing else. It goes along with the Greek language. But these apologists, Catholic theologians, they took up the Greek logos of Philo and they applied it to John 1:1, thus giving us a pre-existent Christ. And this is trickery. This is false, because the logos of John 1:1 is not the Greek philosophical logos of Philo. It never was. It's always been a plain word of God. Jesus is the word of God that was spoken, that was uttered. Look at Genesis chapter 1. This is what God did. He created all things by his word. So please, if you want to not embarrass yourself, say the right thing. Let's use the historical facts correctly. Maybe some of you don't want to say what I'm saying because you don't want to give me any credit. Don't give me any credit. That's okay. I know my God, and God called me to this work many years ago, and I'm